So I'm talking about my life, my favorite. Now, I'm talking about my life and why, my story and why it could change the world and help the world and why, this mathematics of me being a good man. Am I just saying that because I want to beat my chest? No, not really. I'm saying it because there's been a 30-year arc, a 30-year story that's affected my life and my response. And it's kind of a mathematical equation about, me being a good man, what that means in terms of what all that's transpired, what the mathematics are. If one of the answers is good man, what does that mean on the other side of the equation is part of what I'm getting at. I also want to get into, what do I mean by good, okay? Because a lot of us have goodness within, right? And how do we develop that? And so what I'm getting at as well is that over the course of 30 years, I took good qualities, a lot of us have good qualities, and how do we shape them into something good or great? Or even, as I say, gentle genius. But, that process, becoming a good woman, a good man, a good, of any gender identification, is more than having good qualities. And that's also what I want to get at in terms of in defining goodness. And so let me talk a bit about what I mean by John Myers is a good man and why it matters. So the essence of my story is that I had, as crazy as it's, I had people come at me in like this relentless fashion for 30 years, more, in some ways less, however you see it. But there's a real irrationality in terms of, the attack that came at me. And there were a lot of factors on the other side. When I say the product was John Myers is a good man, I'm not really calling myself in the third person. And what I really want people to understand is what are some of these factors that attack a good person, you, me, anyone, goodness itself. And so a number of things, and I'm not going to get into all the specifics per se, but, family dynamics or younger, brother, people who there are in this world, people who have rages and energies and attach them to other people and really come at other people. And this is kind of the more general point I want to get at, why I emphasize our gentle genius coaching, that, people, good people especially can be prone to be attacked by other people, morally, psychologically, whatever it be, in social settings. I'm not talking necessarily about physical attacks. I'm talking about psychological, ostracizing, all kinds of emotionally abusive and psychological tactics. And so we have to be aware of this energy. I've raised issues with, about the tort for the intentional infliction of emotional distress so that society, people can understand emotional abuse better. And we have to understand that good people a lot of times are attacked. There's this relationship, some would say, between narcissists and empaths. So, narcissists are, emotional vampires, they used to be called, about how people attach themselves to other people. So I endured this kind of assault. And, it kind of got meshed when I, long ago, I entered a separation, divorce type of thing. And, our courts are not fully understanding and are lagging, in themselves. I urge to develop a better sense of understanding of these issues. And anyway, so this 30-year cycle came about where I was attacked. And what I'm getting at, if one of the net results is that I end up being a good man, then what does it say about all that energy? What was all that? And we as a society have to ascertain what that energy is. We have to define it because we have to be aware, for those of us who want a good, a decent, even a better society, we have to be aware of the underpinnings that come at people. And so, the extreme narcissism, people who don't have purpose, people who are random in terms of how they, operating from childhood rages, how they attack other people. And this is what I'm getting at. These are some of the dynamics in society where goodness itself is attacked. And I think we see it now in a lot of political debates and others where people will just kind of take very surface level arguments and kind of really try to pin other people with it. And that comes from the left, it comes from the right, it's coming from both. And so when a net effect of my life and work is encouraging a deeper level of understanding. Like with, I wrote a book once, Iceberg, as I was working through these issues. All of which is to say, once again, that I think people do well and benefit by developing their purpose. With our Gentle Genius coaching, it's in, kind of a magical potion, the psychology I put together. But, what I'm getting at is the net effect that when, someone is attacked for many years, and it turns out they're a good person, what I'm getting at, it really says a lot about those people and influences that were attacked, those behaviors that were attacking that other person. And these are things we've got to know. So take a look at my websites. I'll put prominently Gentle Genius Coaching first. We've got a new 8-minute, $99 Get on the Right Path coaching. You can learn a lot about the psychology of the times and the challenges you're facing through my work, through my story, and I'm happy to share.